Across the grassland, the dry season writes its lore in dust and bone. Some pull through. Most don't. Year 7 of the drought. Who will survive? She is the oldest female in the pride. 7 years in this savage kingdom is long enough to learn that the Savanna offers no mercy. Kenya's Masai Mara stretches for more than 1,500 square kilometers from the Great Rift Valley down to the Serengeti border of Tanzania. After 7 consecutive years of poor rains, the waterholes have shrunk by 70%. On this land, a pride of lions still holds. This is a lineage stable across decades. Sisters, daughters, sometimes even grandmother and granddaughter, living together in a settled order. Under drought conditions, a lone female succeeds in only about 17% of her approaches. When the pride coordinates, that figure approaches 70%. After many years of hunting together, their coordination needs no words. The lionesses rush in one after another, leaping onto the buffalo's back. The back is their preferred point of attack. No horns, no teeth. The animal is simply too large to defend its own rear. An attack from behind can bring it down once the hind legs are disabled. And when the 1-ton giant falls, the hunt is complete. This is the strength of an empire. The strength of true queens. The pride's playful cubs are only 4 months old, each weighing around 1.5 kilograms at birth. In the first month, they depend entirely on their mother. But 4 months have passed, and the young are more active now. Today, they will taste the first meat their mothers have brought home. 900 kilograms of meat can sustain the pride for several days. But hyenas do not accept that quietly. But the calls of the hyenas reach another ear. One stronger and more ruthless than any of them. That night, something arrives. echoing across the territory of Malkia's sisters. It is not the familiar scent of the resident male, but the scent of strangers. On the Savanna, when a male lion reaches 2 to 3 years of age, he is expelled from his natal pride. Exiled males find each other, often brothers, sometimes companions, from months of wandering. The coalition's strategy is not immediate confrontation. It is systematic pressure in 3 stages. Stage 1. Defeat the resident male who guards the pride. Stage 2. Test the reaction of the females. Stage 3. Remove every cub carrying the genes of the former male. On that night, the sisters of the lioness did not run. They did what sisters have always done. Malkia would be the one to carry the young away, for she knew the terrain better than any of her sisters. The lioness covered more than 13 kilometers that night. By dawn, the pride no longer existed in its old form. The African elephant is the most important keystone species in this ecosystem. These creatures do not simply live inside the ecosystem. They create it. This clearing prevents the encroachment of dense woodland, maintaining the open grasslands. Without elephants, the grasslands would gradually close into thin woodland, and the entire food chain that lions depend on would collapse. But the more astonishing faculty is memory. The oldest female in the herd walks at the front. She is 47 years old, long enough to remember every severe drought of the past 4 decades. She carries a map of water sources within hundreds of kilometers across her entire life. An elephant's brain weighs around 5 kilograms. Its hippocampus, the region associated with spatial and long-term memory, is considerably larger than in other mammals of comparable body size. Long-term studies in Kruger National Park report that older matriarchs tend to lead their herds to more distant and lesser-known water sources during extreme drought years, sources that only she has visited. Elephants also communicate through infrasound, low-frequency sound waves below 20 Hz beneath the range of human hearing, which can travel up to 16 kilometers across the grasslands. They can detect water by scent from as far as 19 kilometers away. Elephants possess 5 times as many olfactory receptor genes as humans, and twice as many as working dogs. At the elephant's destination, Nile crocodiles are already waiting. The shrinking water creates tension. An elephant's trunk contains more than 40,000 independent muscle fascicles, about 60 times the total in the entire human body. A strike at the trunk does not kill an elephant, but it causes truly pain. After a sleepless night and a day without food, she understands there is nothing here for her. Along the marshes around the waterhole, an entirely different creature stands perfectly still. The shoebill does not move for hours. It lives in vast wetlands where papyrus grows taller than a person. It has the bill of a stork. It hunts like a heron, and it eats things that have teeth. A newly hatched crocodile measures only about 20 centimeters and weighs around 100 grams. Because its armor has not yet hardened, it often becomes a meal. The shoebill stands motionless in the shallows like a statue and waits, sometimes for hours, until a young crocodile drifts within reach of that bill. Day 3. The nearest waterhole has had its tenants for weeks. Hippo's skin has no oil glands. They rely entirely on water to prevent dehydration and sunburn. To lose the waterhole is to lose everything. A 1,500-kilogram bull hippo is among the most dangerous animals in Africa when cornered. The lioness does not challenge the waterhole. She drinks from the edge, while the hippos pay no attention. But hippos are not merely keepers of the pool. The lioness needs food. From a raised granite outcrop, she watches a herd of Cape buffalo moving toward the waterhole. Cape buffalo remember their enemies. Research at Kruger National Park has recorded that herds recognize and avoid specific locations where they were once ambushed. Their horns fuse at the base into a solid shield of bone known as the boss, dense enough to deflect a rifle round. Not prey for a single female. In the 7th dry year, she has no other option of sufficient size. A Cape buffalo's rear kick delivers enough force to fracture a lion's ribs. No lone predator can hold against them. She runs for her life, abandoning an impossible hunt. She brings nothing home to the cubs waiting in the rocky den. Day 4. Since the night the empire fell, the lioness has not eaten a meaningful meal in 3 days. Then from the east, before dawn, a low, hollow sound rises in the distance. The southern ground hornbill. The male inflates a bright red pouch beneath the throat. The Maasai have an old name for this sound, the voice that speaks before the rain. The southern ground hornbill is among the longest living birds of the African savanna, with a lifespan of 50 to 60 years. They do not live in pairs, but in families spanning generation. Chicks from earlier broods remain to help raise the next. That three-generation family accumulates knowledge of local climate cycles across decades of observation. When air pressure shifts and humidity rises before the rains, the hornbills grow animated and call more frequently. She does not know what the hornbills are announcing. She only senses that something in the air is changing. Night 5. Another lioness emerges from the thickets. This is not a threat. It is a former member of the pride. Sisters recognize each other's voices at distances greater than 1 kilometer. The contact call is spatial data, carrying position, condition, and the degree of danger in the area. When two females unite, hunting success rises. Field research shows lions take kills from spotted hyenas far more often than the reverse. In some parts of Africa, up to 50% of what lions consume comes from food taken from other species. This is not the pride that once was, but it is a beginning. From the north, the sound of millions of hooves draws nearer. There are events on this planet for which no words capture the scale. This is one of them. Each year, 1.5 million wildebeest, 200,000 zebras, and 500,000 gazelles move in an 800-kilometer circle between Tanzania's Serengeti and Kenya's Masai Mara. The total biomass of this migration exceeds 900,000 metric tons, more than twice the combined biomass of every large herbivore in North America. There is no leader, there is no map, there is no plan. Wildebeest migrate because not migrating means starvation. When the southern grass is exhausted, 1.5 million stomachs drive in the same direction, north. In the Serengeti, when the early rains turn the southern plains into a carpet of green, as many as 8,000 wildebeest calves are born each day over 3 consecutive weeks. This is a strategy known as predator satiation, giving birth in numbers so vast that predators cannot take them all. A newborn wildebeest must stand within 3 to 7 minutes of birth. It must keep pace with the herd within 20 minutes. This is the minimum requirement to be counted as part of the herd. Calves that pass this test will run with the herd for hundreds of kilometers to the Mara. They differ from the lion cubs waiting in the granite den. Lions invest in a brain and body that will allow them to learn complex skills later in life. 2 strategies, 2 answers to the same long-term problem of survival. And both exist on the same plane pulled into the same crisis. Before the migration reaches the Mara grasslands, it must cross the river. During migration, the Mara River runs at 6 to 10 kilometers per hour. The banks are steep, often 1.8 to 3 meters high. And when wildebeest leap from the high bank, many break legs on landing in shallow water. This is the most dangerous bottleneck of the entire journey. Thousands of wildebeest gather at the high bank, but pressure from behind creates a cascade effect. Once enough individuals reach the edge, the probability that the entire herd plunges rises sharply. The Nile crocodile is not a creature of this era. Their ancestors existed more than 200 million years ago, when dinosaurs ruled the land and the continents had not yet taken their modern shape. The Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction wiped out 75% of all species on Earth. The crocodile survived. An adult Nile crocodile can fast for 2 years without dying, simply by lowering its metabolism to a minimum. On the snout of a Nile crocodile are hundreds of pressure-sensing receptors the size of a pinhead, capable of detecting pressure changes equivalent to a single drop of water falling several meters away. When it closes its jaws, the bite force of a Nile crocodile is enough to shatter the femur of an adult hippopotamus. But that is not the principal mechanism. The principal mechanism is the death roll. Crocodiles do not chew. They sever and roll, taking one portion at a time. In the Mara River, during migration, hundreds of Nile crocodiles have waited for weeks, not for lack of opportunity, but because the moment when the greatest opportunity comes to them is coming, and it has just arrived. As the migration continues toward the Mara grasslands, what remains in the river begins to attract a different community. The crocodiles will leave nothing behind. But even the crocodiles cannot consume everything. On the western bank, Malkia and her companion move downstream, away from the crossing where crocodiles are still active, searching for another point along the bank not yet watched. She and her companion will try their luck on a wildebeest that has not yet crossed. This time, she fails. This is the first time in Malkia's life that the western bank of the Mara is truly within view. Not in memory, not in instinct, but as a real landscape, observable, measurable. The grass is shorter than on the eastern bank, the sight lines are longer, and the scent of prey is coming from that side. But between Malkia and the western bank, the river still runs, and in the muddy water, eyes that need no light are still watching. Do not look away from your screen, because the breathtaking confrontation between Queen Malkia and the wetlands hunter, the Nile crocodile, is waiting for you in the minutes ahead. Press like, share and subscribe so you do not miss this moment of life and death. The wildebeest herd had already crossed before Malkia and her companion arrived. Malkia and her companion arrived late. What remains on the riverbank is no longer the herd. At every bend where a carcass lies, Nile crocodiles are contesting the remains. Having fasted for weeks before the migration arrived and then fed continuously for several days at its peak, the crocodiles are now in the digestion phase and defend what remains with a level of aggression higher than usual. Malkia knows the quieter bends of the river, those stretches the migration rarely uses. But the Nile crocodiles know those stretches of river too, and they've known them for far longer. The largest crocodile at this quiet bend has been here for 40 years. In those 40 years, it has observed and learned everything it needs to know about the prey of this stretch, including the time of day, the season, and which species arrive when. Malkia approaches the water's edge. From below, a pressure signal shifts. A tug of war begins. The Nile crocodile holds fast to the carcasses Malkia hoped to claim. What lies within their territory, no other may take away. Malkia steps back. Losing a contest in the water is not a loss of strength. The western bank still stands. The prey is still there. The question is not whether to cross. The question is when and how. The most complex variable is not the crocodile, it is the cubs. Each cub is another element not fully under control. Slower swimming speed than an adult female, incomplete reflexes, more noise in the water when startled, and no ability to handle the unexpected without direct guidance. Crocodiles are sensitive enough to distinguish pressure changes equivalent to the movement of a single drop of water several meters away. In muddy water, the noise of a panicking cub is a signal as attractive as any call. The first attempt takes place in the afternoon. The cub touches the water for the first time. Cold, swift, nothing to hold on to, and the response is immediate. The first attempt ends before reaching midstream. But that attempt has left behind something more important than the outcome. Everything that follows, each approach to water, each sound of a wave, will be compared against that original template. And that original template has now been recorded. Research on Lion River crossing behavior in the Mara records a consistent pattern. Females that succeed in crossing with cubs tend to choose the hours around dawn. This is when water temperature is at its lowest, reducing crocodile activity. When the light is enough to see danger, but not yet enough for prey on the far bank to see the lion approaching. And when the current is usually at its daily minimum, as no rain has come since the night before. Dawn of the 7th day. The temperature of the Mara is at its lowest in 24 hours. The crocodiles are still present, but their responses are slower than in daylight. Malkia goes first. She chooses the narrowest bend in sight, with firm ground on the western bank visible from 90 meters away, and a location where the largest crocodile has not been sighted in the last 4 hours. Malkia begins the crossing. That glance delivers the signal of safety. Next comes the first cub. The second cub follows. For a moment, everything seems to go well, but turning points often arrive in the final minutes. And the eastern bank gives way beneath her hind legs. Not a full collapse. Not an immediate disaster. Only a section of earth weakened from below by days of migration passing over it. She tries. She cannot break free. The earth keeps giving way. Time begins to compound against her. The pressure receptors on the crocodile's snout register a new signal. Prey struggling in a fixed location. They read the panic. The members already on the western bank cannot help but respond. On land, Malkia would almost certainly prevail. But the waterline is the boundary where both species reach the limit of their evolutionary advantage. Both sides tire, and by lasting, that confrontation decides that there will be another occasion. But not today. On the other side, the sound of struggle in the water stops. The other crocodiles have taken her companion beneath the dark current. Malkia looks in that direction. There is nothing left. The western bank is new ground, and new ground is the opportunity that the eastern bank, now occupied by the male coalition, no longer offers. Malkia lost a huntress to arrive here. That cannot be changed. It can only change what happens next. The western bank has shorter grass, the sightlines are longer, and the prey density is at its highest. Ahead of them, a wildebeest drifts from the group, its left leg stiff from an old wound. This antelope can reach sprints of 97 kilometers per hour, but this one, today, cannot. The chase is short. It succeeds. This is the first nourishing meal in 6 days. The ecological map of this new territory begins to take shape with this first hunt. And after enough seasons and enough trial and error, that map will become as precise as the one lost on the eastern bank. A territory is claimed. As Malkia and her companion take their meal, other creatures have been watching from a distance. The spotted hyena is not the unworthy scavenger that centuries of cultural imagery have suggested. This predator hunts its own food in 70 to 95% of its meals. It is one of the most efficient hunters on the grasslands, possessing the strongest bite force among land carnivores, sufficient to fracture bone in a single closure of the jaws. Spotted hyenas belong to the Feliformia, the same evolutionary branch as cats, not dogs. And their social structure is more sophisticated than most African carnivores. A spotted hyena clan is ruled by a matriarch, who stands above every male in the clan hierarchy. Her daughters inherit rank before they are old enough to hunt. Long-term studies at the Mara record that. Matriarchs recognize and distinguish individuals of neighboring clans after months apart, maintaining a detailed social memory of the behavior and rank of every rival in the territory. The clan approaches from behind, The two lionesses recognize their laughing calls from more than half a kilometer away. No confrontation is needed. The lions hold their position at the kill, and the hyenas wait at the outer ring. Above, the lappet-faced vulture, the largest vulture in Africa with a wingspan of up to 2.7 meters, has been circling since before sunrise. They glide on the thermals, rising from the sun-warmed savanna, tracking not only the ground, but each other as well. This is a distributed information system with no coordinator, more efficient than any centralized system could be designed to be. The stomach of a vulture contains acid at a pH close to 0, enough to neutralize anthrax, cholera, and botulinum toxins that would be fatal to most other animals. Without vultures, carcasses accumulate and disease spreads. Spotted hyena, vulture, crocodile, lion. None of these animals know what role they play in the larger circle. They are only feeding, only living. And because all of them live according to their own instinct, the ecosystem continues to function. "6 days, all that was built across many years, or all that must be learned in order to endure, can be undone. Life is not seized by strength alone, nor is it built on luck. Lions survive by gathering and carrying knowledge of the grasslands, of the prey, of their own kind, enough to make the right choices in the moments that decide survival. The survivor is not the strongest, but the one who learns best from each failure before the next one arrives. The Mara remains, the coalition remains, the crocodile remains, rivals remain, and the next dry season will come, and it will spare no one who is not prepared. On the plains of the Masai Mara, the circle of survival continues. The coalition searches for new territory. The pride redraws its boundaries. The crocodile lies in wait for next year's migration. Together, they operate an ecological machine that has run without pause since long before humans learned to ask questions about it. And perhaps that is the most important thing to remember. That, in that endless turning, the throne of the savage kingdom has never stood empty. To understand the force that keeps this machine running, look to the highest ground of the savanna, where order is set by those who carry the bloodline of kings. Moving toward the southeast of Kruger, fertile basalt plains from ancient lava. Nourish the most nutrient-rich sweetgrasses in the park. This is a magnet attracting massive herds of herbivores. And naturally, where there is prey, there are those who govern. Unlike all other feline species that live solitary lives, lions are highly social creatures. The core of a pride is the sisterhood core. These related lionesses live together, hunt together, and raise their young together on the same territory for a lifetime. When the patrolling males return, a special ritual takes place, the greeting ceremony. This is how they exchange scents from the scent glands on their faces, strengthening family bonds and affirming their status within the pride. Male lions at Kruger often form male coalitions, biological brothers who grow up together and rule together. A coalition of 2 to 3 males is far more formidable than a lone individual, helping them maintain their territory for longer periods against challengers. The flat and square structure of the vocal cords allows the lion to produce high-intensity sound with minimal effort. A roar can travel 8 kilometers, carrying 2 important messages. One is to locate members of the pride, and the second is a warning. Based on the intensity and number of responding roars, a lion can estimate the strength of its opposition. From there, they will make the decision to engage or remain defensive. But the lion's journey of survival does not only revolve around power, it is also about personal retribution. Lions never forget those who have disrupted their hunts. Baboons are well aware of this. Lions also know the baboon's weakness, the curiosity and overconfidence of the alpha males. The lion's tactic is the decoy. The baboon's instinct to harass awakens, despite the adversary being an apex predator. The baboon does not know that other lions are already lying in wait in the surrounding thickets, forming a closed circle. The baboon is agile, but cannot outpace 4 to 5 lions surrounding every direction. This is a cautionary lesson for the entire baboon troop trembling in the trees. Never toy with the king when your feet touch the earth. But to sustain 15 members, the pride requires a substantial amount of nourishment. However, the wildebeest is not easy prey. They weigh up to 250 kilograms with sharp, curved horns. The lion's tactic for hunting wildebeest is encirclement. The females separate into 2 distinct groups. The first group is the wings, or drivers. They reveal themselves openly, moving upwind, so the wildebeest herd can see and smell them. The purpose is to instill a sense of unease, herding the prey toward a predetermined direction. The second group is the scenters or ambushes, the most experienced hunters. An ambush that neutralizes the balance of a 250 kilograms frame moving at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour. However, the risks are immense. Wildebeest, when cornered, can become extremely assertive. But with seamless coordination, the hunt concludes. The passing of one wildebeest is exchanged for the survival of the entire pride for the next 2 days. The pride's lead males often stay out of the hunt. With a body weight of up to 200 kilograms and a thick mane, they are too large and conspicuous to participate in ambushes requiring stealth. Unless the target is a Cape buffalo. At Lower Sabi, Cape buffalo gather in massive herds of up to hundreds of individuals. To bring down a buffalo weighing nearly 1,000 kilograms, lions utilize the siege and attrition tactic. Once the target is isolated, the backpack maneuver is activated. Simultaneously, other lions on the ground perform the hamstringing technique. But the Cape buffalo is the most resilient creature of the savanna. If the herd returns to provide aid, the lions are forced to retreat. But if the buffalo is left alone, its destiny is determined. It can take up to 20 minutes to fully subdue a Cape buffalo. This is a struggle of absolute endurance, where only total strength achieves victory. Once the giants have eaten their fill and retreated into the shade to rest, the feast of the white-backed vulture begins. This is the most common vulture species in Kruger. They are nature's professional sanitation crew. The white-backed vulture possesses a long, featherless neck. This allows them to dine without soiling their plumage, avoiding the risk of infection. Their tongues have a specialized structure with backward-facing grooves, helping to clear dozens of kilograms of food within just a few minutes. Their stomachs contain acid so potent it can neutralize anthrax and cholera bacteria. They are the final line of defense preventing the spread of disease to water sources and the land. As the tracks of the elite hunters fade into the dusty haze, the legacy they leave behind begins to find its voice. The temporary wells in the dry riverbed become the center of endurance, drawing a diverse community seeking a way to stay strong. The warthog appears with a rugged frame and a spirit that refuses to give an inch. Its dark, bristly skin acts as a natural shield against the intensity of the savanna. This compact creature is a true professional when it comes to unearthing what lies beneath. Its snout easily works through the firm earth to find roots and buried nourishment. Though it often retreats into the thicket when pressed, the warthog shows intense resolve, ready to use its sharp tusks to protect its space from any careless seekers. It prioritizes its freedom over any confrontation. Once it senses an opening, it will make a break for it toward the dense brush or nearby burrows to find safety. Under the brilliant sun, the zebra's stripes create a mesmerizing visual show. These bold patterns are more than just unique signatures. They are a living shield. As the herd gathers near the water, the stripes form a shimmering, dizzying barrier, making it quite a challenge for a lion or leopard to zero in on a single target. The silence is broken by the explosive leaps of the impala. A true symbol of speed, its slender and agile frame can maneuver away from unwanted attention with incredible grace. Every launch into the air is a calculated display of escape, keeping it safe by a hair. Standing tall like a monument of quiet strength, the eland surveys the savanna as the largest antelope. With remarkable heat tolerance, it extracts nourishment from the harshest, driest thorn bushes that others often pass by. Its massive build and long spiraling horns serve as an effective safeguard and bear witness to its ability to stand the test of time through seasons without rain. Its superior height allows it to feed on leaves and branches in places where smaller species simply cannot reach. The eland's persistence is now being tested by a hunting party on the edge of desperation. A pride of lionesses, thinned by many days without nourishment, has taken its position. Ultimately, the giant comes to rest within a cloud of dust, its journey helping to uphold a lion lineage that was on its last legs. Not far from that spot, topee antelopes stand with pride on elevated mounds. With their keen senses, they are dedicated sentries, constantly keeping an eye out for the slightest hint of trouble from kilometers away. They are well adjusted to the arid terrain, using dense foliage for cover and relying on their swiftness to reach safety. Topee form family circles where the adults shield the more vulnerable young ones in the middle, while they themselves remain on the perimeter. Among the towering residents of the savanna, the Rothschild's giraffe stands head and shoulders above the rest in both height and sheer elegance. Long limbs and a neck adorned with signature patterns provide it with a singular advantage. It grazes on leaves at heights no other plant eaters can reach, which helps it avoid the usual hustle for a meal. Despite its massive presence, the giraffe moves with a leisurely poise, yet never fails to keep its guard up. Its sharp eyesight allows it to identify lions and leopards from miles away. If pushed, it can defend itself with forceful forward kicks, plenty strong enough to discourage most trouble seekers. The Rothschild's giraffe is a masterclass in adaptation, a creature in which nature finds a middle ground between delicacy and power, resulting in a creature that is both refined and tough on the wide African plains. Yet the graceful presence of the giraffe isn't the only thing that captures the imagination. The very soil beneath their feet is the result of powerful geological transformations, where the ground split to carve out the soul of this entire continent. A colossal geological scar etched onto the face of the Black Continent. The Great Rift Valley, the greatest fault system on Earth, stretching over 6,000 kilometers from the Middle East down to Mozambique. At the bottom of this abyss, south of the Ngorongoro boundary, Lake Eyasi is a forgotten land. An endorheic alkaline salt lake, situated at an altitude of 1,030 meters above sea level, Eyasi acts as a giant cauldron. And only creatures possessing extreme biological adaptability earn the right to exist. Unlike their 200-kilogram cousins in Ngorongoro, Eyasi lions are ascetic athletes. The average weight of a mature male here rarely exceeds 170 kilograms. Their bodies have almost no excess fat. Vertical fault lines force them to develop extremely powerful shoulder and neck muscles. They must haul their entire body weight up 60-degree slopes to access rare high-altitude springs. A mandatory biological adaptation, as the water in Lake Eyasi is too salty to sustain life. But the biggest threat at this frontier comes from another apex predator that has coexisted with lions for the past 40,000 years. The Hadzabe, the last hunter-gatherer tribe of East Africa. Maintain a delicate balance with nature, using traditional tools to safeguard their ancestral territory. But the Hadzabe never take the entire kill. They share the harvest, focusing on essential resources. The lion is still king, but at Eyasi, the king must know how to compromise to survive. Emerging from the bush, the lion encounters a creature only 28 centimeters tall. In the Rift Valley Survival Dictionary, this is the definition of recklessness. The honey badger's skin is up to 6 millimeters thick around the neck, tougher than buffalo hide relative to body size. But the secret lies in the loose connective structure. The honey badger can rotate its body 180 degrees right inside its own skin. The honey badger's teeth are small but strong enough to pierce turtle shells, and a foul-smelling gland to irritate the enemy causes disorientation and completely kills the appetite. Evolution has modified the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors in their nervous system. This mutation prevents neurotoxins, cobra venom, from binding to cells. This venom resistance creates irrational aggression. Physically unequal battles, but mentally overwhelming. Lions often choosing gentler prey. Kirk's dik-dik, one of the smallest antelopes on the Black Continent. Their body weight ranges from 3 to 6 kilograms. But catching them is a tricky geometry problem. Dik-diks run in a zigzag pattern with explosive speeds of 42 kilometers per hour. Small size allows dik-diks to slip through gaps only 20 centimeters wide. In mammals, only about 3% of mammal species practice monogamy. A dik-dik pair will bond for life, jointly defending a territory of about 5 hectares. If one is hunted by a lion, the other will often perish shortly after due to extreme stress and refusal to eat from the loss of its partner. If you were a lion, would you choose to hunt a honey badger or a dik-dik? Leave a comment below to let us know. When thorny bushes obstruct the lion's hunt, the predator is forced to switch targets. At first glance, they look exactly like oversized guinea pigs sunbathing. But DNA tests and anatomy have proven they are the closest living relatives of the African elephant. Both belong to the group Paenungulata, splitting from a common ancestor in the Eocene 50 million years ago. They share undeniable anatomical features: flat nails instead of claws, similar wrist bone structure, and canine teeth developing from incisors, a miniature version of elephant tusks. However, the hyrax did not inherit its giant cousin's thermoregulation ability. The hyrax's body temperature fluctuates with the environment, a rare trait in mammals. To survive the 10 degrees Celsius cold of the desert night, they must recharge. Every morning, they sunbathing to absorb solar heat, activating digestive enzymes. Hyraxes never sleep all at once. There is always a dominant male acting as a sentry. Those are solid granite fortresses that lion claws cannot break. Helpless before the granite fortresses, the lion looks higher. In Afrikaans, klipspringer means rock jumper. Unlike all antelopes that walk on the sole of the hoof, the klipspringer walks on the tips of its hooves. A light body weight of 10 to 18 kilograms allows them to perform vertical leaps up to 7 to 8 meters. Klipspringers are monogamous for life. No sneaky movement of a lion in the valley below can escape them. In the Rift Valley, they are the hardest prey for lions to hunt. Like the klipspringer, the caracal is also a creature possessing incredible jumping ability. Over 20 independent muscle groups allow each ear to rotate 180 degrees like a radar dish. They receive and amplify the smallest infrasound frequencies. All are drawn into a 3D sound map in the caracal's brain. The caracal's body is streamlined, hind legs longer than front legs, allows them to accelerate up to 80 kilometers per hour, the fastest speed among all small cats of the Black Continent. The hind leg muscle system is full of fast twitch muscle fibers. Thanks to this, they can compress their body like a steel spring and leap vertically to a height of 3 meters in 1/10 of a second. These are hunting skills that lions will never possess in the jagged rocky land of the Rift Valley. Are you more impressed by the hunting ability of the lion or the caracal? Let us know your choice in the comments section. Leaving the arid borderlands of the Rift Valley, the lion enters a completely different world. A geological wonder recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. 3 million years ago, this place was a mountain towering over even Kilimanjaro. But a cataclysmic explosion caused it to collapse in on itself, creating a colossal basin 260 square kilometers wide. These vertical cliffs imprison over 25,000 large animals in a closed ecosystem. The density of predators here is the highest on the Black Continent. This is Mother Nature's Roman arena, where a lion need only open its eyes to see prey. An abundance of food bordering on surplus creates a movement deficit. The result is a massive and bulky body structure. The weight of a mature lion male here can easily exceed 230 kilograms. But the 600-meter-high cliffs prevent new blood from entering. It creates a population with record-low genetic diversity, but it also forges an aggressive and extreme temperament. Lions are typically nocturnal hunters, but at Ngorongoro, they are daytime warriors. Stealth is unnecessary when you possess absolute power. However, living in a closed area means fierce competition. 260 square kilometers is too small for the world's densest lion population. And at Ngorongoro, danger also comes from civil wars over territory. Ngorongoro is also home to the Kori bustard, the world's heaviest flying bird still in existence. A mature male at Ngorongoro can reach a weight of 19 kilograms. If they weighed just a few grams more, they would be permanently imprisoned by gravity on the ground. They spend up to 70% of their waking time just walking to forage on the ground. In the cramped Ngorongoro arena, the heavy footsteps of large mammals disturb locusts, beetles, and lizards hiding in the grass. The Kruger bustard simply follows behind and harvests those panicked prey with ease. But the composure of this walker vanishes completely when the breeding season arrives. The male neck ballooning to 4 times its normal size, they transform into a giant white puffball. In the arena of giants, size and display are sometimes more effective than claws. The common eland understands that rule very well. This is the second largest antelope on Earth, second only to the giant eland. A mature male at Ngorongoro weighing up to 900 kilograms, on par with a Cape buffalo. The louder the sound, the deeper the frequency, proving the male is bigger and stronger. It is a long-range warning sent to competitors during the mating season. Weighing nearly a ton, the eland are incredibly agile creatures. Elands possess hind thigh muscles full of fast-twitch muscle fibers. They can perform a vertical leap higher than 2 meters without a running start. Most mammals must sweat to keep body temperature stable at 37 degrees Celsius. This causes severe water loss. The eland allows its body temperature to rise by up to 7 degrees Celsius during the day. Their body acts like a giant thermal battery, absorbing heat up to 42 degrees Celsius without heat shock. When night falls, they release this heat into the cold environment. This mechanism helps them save liters of water every day. A perfect biological machine, both a heavyweight gladiator and a master survivor. Are you more impressed by the Kruger bustard's display or the eland's defensive jumping? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. While the eland uses muscle power to dominate the ground, the Ngorongoro sky belongs to the grey-crowned crane, the bird chosen as the national bird of Uganda. Under their throat hangs a bright red skin pouch called the gular sac, it helping amplify their honk call to travel for kilometers. That sound is the soundtrack for one of the natural world's most romantic rituals, the lifelong dance. The grey-crowned crane is strictly monogamous. They dance year-round to reinforce their emotional bond. When night falls, Ngorongoro transforms into a high-stakes environment. Most other crane species are forced to sleep standing in water to feel predator vibrations. But the grey-crowned crane are the only cranes in the world capable of perching on trees. Over millions of years, the hind toe has evolved to be long and prehensile. It allows them to grip slender acacia branches tightly, completely separated from the jaws of predators lurking at the base. Elegant, faithful, and intelligent, they are the uncrowned kings and queens of this land. Completely unlike its gentle Asian water buffalo cousin in the fields, the African buffalo has never been domesticated. Their temperament is described in 2 words, unpredictable and brutal. For a lion, biting through this armor is a physically impossible task. But what makes the African buffalo a true nightmare lies in an excellent memory for grudges. And they revenge. When a buffalo is attacked, a low-frequency distress call is emitted. Immediately, the mobbing tactic is activated. The Roman phalanx formation is perfectly reenacted in nature. The lion, from hunter, suddenly becomes prey. In this cramped Ngorongoro arena, even the king must respect the fury of the formidable buffalo. The lesser flamingo are the avian world's most extreme creatures. They choose to live where most other animals would perish instantly. The pH concentration here frequently exceeds 10.5. This alkalinity is nearly equivalent to concentrated ammonia cleaning solution. Their leg skin is extremely thick, tough, and covered with special horny scales. They are completely immune to the corrosiveness of the lake water. Inside the beak are thousands of tiny horny plates called lamellae. They work exactly like the baleen plates of a blue whale. Their tongue acts like a piston, pumping water in and out at a rate of 20 times per second. This mechanism retains the tiniest microorganisms. Blue-green algae, specifically spirulina, an exclusive food source that no other bird competes for. When newly hatched, the lesser flamingo wears a pale gray-white coat. Blue-green algae and brine shrimp are full of alpha and beta carotenoids. The bird's liver breaks these substances down into vibrant pink and orange pigments, then deposits them into feathers and leg skin. The deeper the color, the healthier and more skilled at foraging the individual is. Living in the most toxic place, eating the smallest things and becoming the most vibrant species. Life always finds a way to thrive, even in the harshest environments. Lake Manyara, an alkaline lake occupying 2/3 of the park's area, nestles at the foot of the 600-meter-high Rift Valley escarpment. Meanwhile, Tarangaya is defined by the river of the same name, the only permanent water source during the dry season. Here lies the world's largest density of baobab trees, with trunks reaching circumferences of up to 30 meters. These trees of life can store over 100,000 liters of water inside their trunks to withstand drought. The richness of the vegetation creates a multi-layered habitat, from dense canopies to riverine floodplains. In the shade of ancient baobab trees, the king's concept of territory is once again overturned. lions become reluctant aerial residents. They spend up to 8 hours of the day sleeping precariously on acacia or mahogany branches. Tsetse flies and horseflies concentrate densely in the lower stratum below 2 meters. Heat and humidity from the ground vegetation are the ideal environment for millions of blood-sucking parasites. By climbing to a height of 5 to 7 meters, lions escape the siege of annoying insects. The high leaf layer receives cool, convective breezes, helping to lower body temperature faster than lying in stifling bushes. However, this spatial shift reveals an anatomical limitation. Lions lack the flexible shoulder blade structure and specific rotator muscles of professional climbers. They use 10-centimeter long claws like iron hooks to grip rough acacia bark tightly. Every move is an effort of a muscle system weighing over 200 kilograms. Unable to turn head first to climb down like domestic cats, lions often awkwardly search for footholds. In the sparse forest and dense bush habitat of Manyara, ground visibility is limited to less than 15 meters. From above, lions possess a clairvoyant perspective through the leaves. The lion's body scent is blown away by high-altitude winds, erasing all traces of a forming ambush. At Manyara and Tarangire, the king has learned that, to rule, sometimes one must leave the ground. If the lion is the ruler, then the African bush elephant is the world creator. They are the Black Continent's most important keystone species. Each mature individual weighing up to 6 tons. They knock down old trees, clearing dense thickets to create travel corridors for smaller species. This process prevents forest encroachment, maintaining the existence of savannas, the habitat of antelopes and zebras. The tusk is an anatomical wonder with over 40,000 independent muscle fascicles. For comparison, the entire human body has only about 639 muscles. 2 fingers at the trunk tip are so sensitive they can pick up a peanut on sandy ground without breaking the shell. But the true power of the long-trunked empire lies in a 5-kilogram brain. The matriarch is the keeper of the clan's memory library. She can remember the exact location of a small underground spring from 30 years ago. Elephants emit low rumbles with frequencies below 20 hertz. This is the sound threshold where human ears and even the lion's keen sense of smell are completely blind. These sound waves travel along the ground and can transmit up to 10 kilometers away. They allow subgroups to keep in touch through dense forests. Elephants receive this signal through sensitive cells in their special foot pads. At Tarangire, lions may be kings of the night, but elephants are the masters of the flow of time, an empire built on memory, unity, and planet-shifting strength. While giants like elephants use strength to change the savanna's face, another chooses to vanish into it. The leopard. The rosette's coat, black flower-shaped spots on a bright yellow background, is the pinnacle of disruptive camouflage. Even at a range of 5 meters, human eyes and prey frequently miss its presence. The leopard possesses shoulder and neck muscle bundles developed with extremely high muscle fiber density. They can use their jaws to clamp an impala or a young giraffe, weighing up to 150 kilograms. An object 3 times its own body weight. Then they climb a vertical tree trunk 10 meters high using only jaw strength and front legs. This is the ultimate food hoarding tactic to avoid the gaze of robbers. Unlike proud lions, leopards are absolute solitary creatures. They understand that a small wound can lead to death due to inability to hunt. This flexibility has made them the most adaptable of the big cats. The leopard's menu includes over 100 different species. They do not depend on any migration flow. They live by cunning and the ability to exploit every niche of the ecosystem. The Central African rock python is the black continent's largest snake, a monster that can reach a length of 6 meters. They can lie motionless in tree hollows or bushes for weeks without moving a millimeter, waiting for the vibration of life to pass by. Its jaw joints are not fixed like mammals, but connected by extremely flexible ligaments. The 2 halves of the lower jaw can separate and expand to a 150-degree angle. This structure allows it to swallow prey many times larger than its own head. In this ecosystem, the Central African rock python represents a significant natural challenge for the next generation of lions. For curious cubs, the python is a formidable predator that demands constant vigilance. In the world of silent coils under the trees, life sometimes has to become bizarre to survive. Warthogs do not possess a polished appearance, but every body part is an effective survival device. This is an optical signal exclusively for piglets lost in the sea of tall grass. Warthogs possess relatively long legs, but a short and rigid neck. To access food sources close to the ground, they have developed a kneeling habit. When chased, the common warthog performs a tactical reverse parking. This is how it completely eliminates the possibility of being attacked from behind or bitten on the neck. The lower tusks act as efficient biological tools for defense. Every time the common warthog opens its mouth, the lower tusks rub against the upper tusks, creating a continuous automatic sharpening mechanism. The result is ensuring they remain formidable in the wild. At Manyara and Tarangaya, the strongest sometimes pay a heavy price just for underestimating a kneeling clown. While the warthog defends underground with cold blades, above its head, a Savanna spatial surveillance network is operating. The vervet monkey is the head of that network. Vervet monkeys possess one of the animal world's most complex proto-language systems. Each call is encoded information about a specific type of threat. A martial eagle, a snake, a leopard, or lion. Superior intelligence turns vervet monkeys into Tarangaya's boldest opportunists. They have learned how to exploit human presence at campsites. They even know how to sneakily steal small prey or leftovers from other animals when the opponent is distracted. To maintain a community full of these quick-witted personalities, they need a social cohesion mechanism, social grooming. Grooming time is proportional to the level of trust and status in the troop. That is how they make peace after food disputes. That is how they build alliances to coexist in an ecosystem full of dangers. Leaving the dense oases of Manyara, we venture deep into the arid heart of Tanzania. Ruaha National Park, the largest national park in East Africa, with an area of over 20,000 square kilometers. This is a unique ecological transition zone between the acacia savannas of the north and the brachystegia woodlands of the south. The terrain is dominated by the mighty Ruaha River, the only artery flowing through rugged rocky gorges. Ruaha possesses the largest elephant population in Tanzania, estimated at over 10,000 individuals. It is also the sanctuary of rare antelopes like the greater kudu and sable antelope. A harsh landscape of red dust, where lions cannot rely on the shade of the jungle. They face a new challenge: extreme scarcity of water. Ruaha is the sanctuary of super prides. Ordinary lion families usually range from 5 to 10 members. Here, massive alliances frequently exceed 20 adult individuals, with super prides of up to 30, even 40 lions living together. Ruaha is one of the few hotspots on the planet where lions are giraffe hunting specialists. Taking down a target 5 meters tall and weighing over 1.2 tons requires perfect military coordination. Ruaha lions possess expanded chests and larger lung capacities to maintain endurance in prolonged struggles. Forelimb musculature is maximally developed, creating grip strength enough to restrain a massive struggling body mass. Cortisol and testosterone levels in their blood skyrocket as resources become scarce. They actively pursue leopards, cheetahs, and especially African wild dogs. This intense rivalry stems from competitive exclusion. Every other predator killed is a guarantee that the superpride's water and food sources are maintained. The king at Ruaha rules by overwhelming numbers and an iron discipline written in blood on the red dust. But the Maasai giraffe is not easy prey to subdue. This is the largest and heaviest subspecies in the giraffe family, with heights reaching a record 5.5 meters. Unlike horses that can only kick backward, Maasai giraffes possess knee joints with absolute flexible range of motion. They are capable of delivering 360-degree kicks in any direction. The impact force from a 15-kilogram hoof is a formidable defense. Atop the long neck is a strange pair of horns called ossicones. In mating battles necking, the long neck acts as a giant lever arm. To sustain energy for a massive body, they have conquered a food source that all other species fear. Acacia trees with sharp thorns up to 10 centimeters long. The Maasai giraffe possesses a tongue 50 centimeters long with a characteristic purple-black color. This dense melanin pigment is a biological sunscreen, protecting the tongue from sunburn when constantly sticking out in the midday summer sun. The skin on the tongue and lips is extremely thick, combined with highly viscous and antiseptic saliva. Unlike the Maasai giraffe, the greater kudu chooses to hide in the dense thorny bushes of Ruaha. The male's proudest highlight is the most magnificent spiral horns in the antelope world. These horns can reach an actual length of up to 1.8 meters if straightened. They twist 2 to 2.5 turns according to nature's perfect golden ratio. However, to survive in a kingdom full of lion superprides, the kudu relies on an early warning system. Radar ears. Giant, trumpet-shaped ears capable of rotating independently to scan sound waves 360 degrees. The special pinna structure helps amplify extremely low-frequency sounds. Their gray-brown coat is decorated with 6 to 12 thin white stripes running along the body. It breaks the form of a 270-kilogram animal into disjointed light and dark patches. But if hiding fails, the kudu will flee with impressive leaps. Possessing thigh muscles with extremely high elasticity, the kudu is Ruaha's best high jumper. From a complete standstill, they can jump vertically to a height of over 2.5 meters. Unlike the kudu's tactic of hiding in bushes, the common ostrich uses speed for defense. They are the largest, heaviest, and fastest birds still in existence on the planet. With long legs made of fast-twitch white muscle fibers, they can sprint up to 70 kilometers per hour. But the most terrifying point for predators is the ability to maintain a speed of 50 kilometers per hour over long distances. They turn the chase into a hopeless endurance test. Ostriches possess the largest eyes of any land animal, with a diameter of 5 centimeters. This eyeball structure allows them a vast panoramic view and extremely high resolution. They can detect unusual movement of a lion in the bush from a distance of 3 to 5 kilometers. If cornered, the ostrich will counterattack mercilessly. Their feet have only 2 toes to reduce friction when running. The largest toe is equipped with a claw up to 10 centimeters long, sharp and hard as steel. Even in maintaining the lineage, they operate a pragmatic mathematical strategy. Communal nesting. The dominant female will establish a common nest and allow other females to lay eggs in it. The total number of eggs in a nest can reach 60, but the mother ostrich can only incubate about 20. She will wisely move her own eggs to the center position, the safest place. Eggs of satellite females are placed on the outer ring, acting as a biological shield layer. If a predator attacks, the eggs at the edge will be eaten first, absolutely protecting the dominant genetic material in the middle. The lion may be king, but the wild dog is the planet's most efficient hunting machine. If the lion's hunting success rate stops at 30%, the African wild dog possesses a terrifying efficiency of up to 80%. The secret lies in the exhaustion pursuit tactic. They maintain a speed of 60 kilometers per hour for hours on end. In a lion pride, the strongest eats first, the weakest and cubs must scavenge leftovers. Wild dogs operate on a completely different philosophy. When prey is taken down, pups, the old and injured individuals, are prioritized to eat first. The strongest, resilient predators will stand guard, waiting for their comrades to be full before eating. This is a resource conservation mechanism, helping them maintain stable numbers in a harsh environment. Their characteristic spotted coat acts as a biometric identification system. No two wild dogs on Earth have exactly the same fur pattern. It is like a human fingerprint, helping individuals recognize each other instantly in the chaos of the hunt. However, this efficiency turns them into a thorn in the ruler's eye. The lion's sole goal is competitive exclusion. Because the lion knows that if these spotted ghosts are allowed to run rampant, the order of Ruaha will be threatened. Towering in northeastern Tanzania near the Kenyan border at an altitude of 19.341 feet. It is the highest freestanding mountain on the planet. Known as the Roof of Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro is a living chronicle of Earth's history. Located only 205 miles from the equator, Kilimanjaro possesses an ecological paradox. A journey from the scorching tropics to the frozen Arctic in just a few miles. Life here is governed by the harsh dictates of altitude. According to the lapse rate rule, for every 1,000 feet of ascent, the temperature drops by an average of 1 degree Fahrenheit. From the vibrant foothills with temperatures ranging from 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the environment transforms abruptly into a desert of rock and permafrost below 0 degrees Fahrenheit at Uhuru Peak. The entire mountain is divided into 5 distinct ecological zones. This is home to more than 1,200 plant species, 140 bird species, and dozens of mammal species. Cape bushbuck are recluses that require no ostentation. With a medium build, the males carry sharp spiral horns, a perfect close-quarter weapon in cramped spaces. Meanwhile, the females are gentler, thanks to a powerful limb structure and flexible skeletal frame. Cape bushbuck choose a crepuscular lifestyle. by consuming young leaves and fallen fruit. They control the explosion of vegetation while simultaneously becoming invisible. Dispersal engineers. But in this emerald sanctuary, the creator is also the target. As a pivotal link in the food chain, the Cape bushbuck is the energy source maintaining the dominance of apex predators. A harsh balance. The existence of one species sustains the breath of another. This is not a world of crowds. Except for the brief moments of the mating season or maternal duties. The duiker is a master of solitude. During the day, they conceal themselves in caverns or impenetrable thickets. Not limited to grass or fallen fruit, the duiker is also a surprising opportunist. Ready to supplement protein from insects or small organic remains. A clever survival strategy in an environment where life sources are always fluctuating. The name duiker, originating from the Dutch word meaning diver. When a threat calls, they dive out of sight into the tangled brush. Supporting this spectacular escape is an elite muscular system, allowing them to reach an astonishing velocity of up to 40 miles per hour. Meanwhile, amidst the rocky plains on the peaks of Kilimanjaro, the East African oryx, also known as the besa, is venturing deep into the harsh heather zone. The besa's digestive system operates like a premium processing machine, extracting nutrients from old grass and parched shrubs. To confront thirst, they possess an internal reservoir, allowing the body to function for many days without water. A sophisticated thermoregulation mechanism keeps their rhythm of life from being extinguished by extreme temperature fluctuations. The gray and tan hues of their coat serve as an excellent camouflage to vanish into the environment. But the soul of the warrior lies in a pair of straight horns measuring 35 inches. This is the symbol of power in internal rivalries. and a lethal weapon against adversaries. On the roof of Africa, this unity and these rigorous evolutions represent the greatest epic of survival. The delicate appearance of the mantled guereza conceals a rigorous evolutionary journey spanning 25 million years. Instead of a flexible hand, nature has granted them a perfect four-fingered hook, absolutely optimized for tight gripping and high-speed movement. A single leap through the air can reach a distance of 20 feet, helping them dominate the highest canopy levels, where threats on the ground cannot reach. At Kilimanjaro, this population maintains a stable number of 10,000 to 15,000 individuals. They live in small groups under the leadership of a dominant male. To maintain contact within the dense jungle space, they utilize resonant calls that can travel up to 1 mile, a survival tool to warn of adversity and assert territorial sovereignty. Leaves account for 80% of their diet, an abundant but challenging food source. A multi-chambered stomach with specialized bacterial systems allows them to break down the complex chemical bonds of tough and indigestible old leaves. Not merely beneficiaries, mantled guereza are the engineers of the canopy. By prioritizing young leaves and flowers, they help balance the growth of vegetation. Through the process of digesting fruit, they inadvertently become silent seed dispersers, reconstructing the green forest with every step. In the relentless cycle of survival on Kilimanjaro, the mantled guereza is both a great creator and an essential energy link, keeping the heart of the tropical rainforest beating. The banded mongoose is among the most resilient warriors of the high-altitude ecosystem. As descendants of the ancient Herpestidae family, the banded mongoose has undertaken a great evolutionary journey from the hot, low-lying savannas to secure a foothold on the slopes of Kilimanjaro. Here, they take advantage of the cool climate and abundant protein sources from insects and small reptiles. Amidst the hues of rock and dry grass, the banded mongoose becomes invisible to the keen vision of the leopard or eagle. Operating in groups of 10 to 40 individuals, they possess an incredibly tight-knit social structure. The habit of huddling closely together helps them share every precious degree Celsius, maintaining body heat against the biting cold of the high mountains. Daytime is when the hunting instinct awakens. With sharp claws and a powerful molar system, they scour every crevice of the earth. Turning the soil not only helps them find food, but also improves soil aeration. Creating the conditions for the revival of vegetation. But the pinnacle of survival strategy is the defensive system. Upon detecting a concern, the troop immediately deploys a circular protection formation. Mature individuals stand on the front lines, encircling the young at the center. Alarm calls echoing across the moorland are more than just a warning. They are an affirmation that on Kilimanjaro, no small creature is left behind. Seen from a distance, Mount Kilimanjaro appears like a giant submerged in eternal sleep. But beneath the silent basalt crust lies a chronicle of geological furies. This is a complex stratovolcano, molded from 3 distinct eruptive centers. The story began 2.5 million years ago with Shira. Through millions of years of erosion, this peak collapsed, leaving behind a vast basalt plateau at an altitude of 13,000 feet. Those ancient lava flows now lie motionless like rivers of stone, a testament to the formative era of the roof of Africa. At an altitude of 16.893 feet, Mawenzi is a labyrinth of sharp cliffs and deep canyons. Though now extinct, the complex geological structure of Mawenzi still preserves the imprints of high-energy eruptions from the past. And finally, the center of all attention, Kibo. This is the youngest and highest volcanic cone, home to Uhuru Peak. At a record altitude of 19.341 feet. At the center of the summit is a colossal caldera 1.5 miles wide and over 1,000 feet deep, creating a surreal landscape amidst the clouds. Geological data indicates that Kibo underwent violent eruptions approximately 150,000 to 200,000 years ago. The final traces, occurring about 10,000 years ago, covered the southern slopes with characteristic layers of basalt and trachyte. Though classified as dormant, Kibo has never truly been motionless. Fumaroles within the crater still silently release steam and sulfur gases. Gentle yet haunting breaths of a volcano that is still alive. Scientists are currently utilizing seismic monitoring and remote sensing technology to track even the slightest vibrations, for in geological time, today's tranquility may be the prelude to a grand awakening in the future. The journey through Tanzania's most intense survival arenas concludes here. From the Ngorongoro crater, a gilded cage, brilliant yet suffocating. To the endless plains of the Serengeti, where speed and migration write the epic of life. Through the dense oases of Manyara and the red dust wild west of Ruaha. We have seen that nature never favors the weak. Of all the animals we have just explored, which species' superpower impressed you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below so we can discuss. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next thrilling journey into the natural world. We have just journeyed together through the rawest glimpses of the cycle of existence and the intense power struggles on the sun-drenched savanna. Which of the lion's rivals in today's episode gave you some serious food for thought regarding the natural world? Was it the unyielding spirit of the Cape buffalo, or the fateful patience of the Nile apex hunters? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Your understanding is the greatest tribute to these wild creatures. Remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you never miss the next chapters of this journey.